So getting the best out of your event, regardless of whether you're a vendor, you're a client, or you're individual planning something. So today I'll be sharing some behind the scenes photos with you guys, and also behind the scenes of how we work during event to bring more value to our client. This by no means is not the only way to do things. Whatever I'll be sharing with you guys today is just our own way of doing things that has worked for us and has been successful. So I hope you guys learn one or two things today. So like I said, I'll be sharing behind the scenes, also some photos with you guys. They all come from our event, particularly a recent event that we did. So we cover both the photos, the video for this particular event. So let's start from the beginning. What changed? Why do we work in a certain way? So what we discovered, a few years ago was everybody was doing the same thing, like photographing, just come to an event, doing point and shoot. What I mean by point and shoot is your flash on your camera and just shoot. And that is the standard way of doing things, and that is industry standard, and that's fine. And we just thought about, okay, why don't we give more value to our client? What can we do to bring this more value? And one of the things that we discover is that what if we do like a mini photo shoot? And what brought about that idea is, first of all, we realized that, especially we photograph a lot of African, events like weddings, parties, and all that. And we know people spend a lot of money preparing for this event. They spend a lot of money. When I spend money in terms of what they are wearing, especially the women, like they can, their tailor could be charging them so much. They will sometimes import the dress, because they are preparing for that event. So they put so much effort into it, and we feel like, what can we do to show this effort? Because if we can show more details of this clothes that they're wearing or their attire, it could be something that will put a smile on their face, make them happy, and at the same time, they are getting value for coming to somebody's event, for them leaving their house, for them leaving the comfort of their home. I'm coming. And the second reason is because we felt like, for our client in particular, this could be giving them, something that they are giving back to the guest. They are giving something back to their guests, because when they come with gift to give to the celebrant can also give them something that they will remember for a long time for coming to that event. And the other thing is, we feel like when we go to this African or Caribbean event, the event never starts at the actual time. If they say it's 4 p.m., it probably starts at 5 or 6, and a lot of people come very late. But there are few people that do come early. So we want to give precedence or priority to those people as well. So like, people come, and instead of them just sitting around, because most of the time they're just sitting around, walking around, waiting for the event to start, we can do this mini photo shoot for them. And so we try to put it as a package, one of the packages for our event. Now we do the same for corporate event, but we do it in a different way, and I will talk about that later. And so when this particular client reached out, told me about the wife turning 60, and he has seen our work online already. He likes our photos, our videos, and I think he has been at an event that we also covered before. So he has already experienced that many photo shoot, and he also wanted that in for the wife, and for something for her. They don't want, they didn't have time to do studio. It was so close, and I said, okay, fine. So we agreed on pricing, and everything was sorted, and everybody was on the same page. So the next thing that I then do is to ask for the dress code. For most of these parties, there's a dress code, and they told me that this is going to be white. So we both agreed that the backdrop, he wanted a beige backdrop, and I said, okay, I've got a beige backdrop. And sometimes I have to decide the backdrop for them. But on this occasion, he actually wanted a white backdrop, and sorry, a beige backdrop. And once we're done with the backdrop one, we're all happy. So this was the day of the event that you guys can see on the screen right now. And when I got into the hotel, we already knew where we were going to be taking the photos, because I asked them to look for a place, and they found a place that we can do the photos in. He has already sent me the details, pictures, and I said it's fine. So these are the things, if you are a vendor like a photographer or videographer, you need to do all this beforehand. Make sure that the space, make sure that at least it doesn't have to be a big space, but at least somewhere that you can use that will not be distracting or affect affecting the party going on itself. And so we sorted all that out. So when I got into the hall, it was empty, especially that space, and so it gave me time to actually set up. So for the setup, I normally use for the backdrop just a small backdrop. I don't use the bigger one. I use a small one because you don't know what you're going to meet. And then obviously setting up the backdrop, making sure also you need to make sure that nothing things are taped down. There's nothing that can make people trip or fall. We want to avoid all these hazardous hazard on situations like that. So once all that is done, and then the next thing was for me to set up the light. For this one, I was using the Godox AD600 and 400 Pro. And the other tip I want to give you guys is that using umbrella always works in most situations in life. Like if you're looking for a safe softbox to use, I would say is umbrella. For one major reason, for umbrella, especially when you're photographing elderly or a mixture of elderly and the younger people, I think umbrella is the best one because umbrella, because it's big, most of them are big, they're going to create soft light, at least if it's moved closer to your subject. So it has to be in relation to your subject's distance. The closer the light and the bigger it is to your subject, the softer the light will be. And for this kind of occasion, you're going to have more elderly people because the celebrant is 60. So I knew I need a lot of soft light on them, flat lighting, then I can make use of that soft lighting the way I want it to be. And so I don't want anything that will stress me. I want something that will be much easier to edit. And that was it. Don't complicate things. For this photo shoot, a mini photo shoot, you don't want to complicate things because there are a lot of people who are going to be taking their photos. You're not going to be photographing one or two people. You're photographing sometimes 50, 100, 150 going through that process. So you need something that is quick, fast, and something that is effective. And once the light is all set up, ready, and for my camera, I was using Sony A7R5. It was paired with my Sony 50 f1.2 lens, and the reason for those two is because the camera is a higher megapixel camera, and that will give me a high resolution, pictures, and I can crop, I can do whatever it is, and still get a sizable amount of quality. And also the lens is sharp, and also you can use it in a tight environment, and it's a portrait lens as well. And I'll use the nano trigger on top just to trigger. My light is from Godox. So my light is from Godox, and the softbox is from Godox, and my trigger is from Godox, and my camera is from Sony. So the next thing is that we have to divide ourselves because we are a team. I was inside and Teddy was outside as well. So we split our team. And so she was outside taking photos of people. I took the picture of the celebrant in the beginning just to make sure I set up everything the way I want it to be. And I took her picture. Now, so when I was ready, I asked the celebrant to actually come and sit down. I fixed her dressed. And then we took some photos of sitting down, standing up. And once I took those few pictures, I had to show her and to make sure that she's happy with what she was saying. Another thing that we do with this event is that we have an iPad. We bring our iPad to this event, and those iPad will allow people to see their pictures in a bigger form, and they appreciate. Now, when I started this photo shoot, I didn't have the iPad there, but later on we have the iPad to use because I was just making sure that we meet up with time, we do everything that we need to do. And once we are done with this main celebrant, and the celebrant was happy with these photos, then she told me that I should call the guest to come and take their photos. Then I had to call the guest in to take their photos, and we started taking the photos of the guest, and we took a lot of photos, and you guys will see some of those photos flying on the screen right now, and I think they look amazing. They look beautiful. The good thing is that once we deliver these photos, the client were happy. Not just the client, the guest. In fact, when we took those pictures and those people saw it in real time from the iPad, they were ready to pay for those photos. And we told them that this has been paid for by, and then we told them how they can get. Some of them, I'll give them my Instagram. Like after I deliver it to the client is happy. We don't have any issues. And some of them that added me on Instagram, I can just drop their photos for them as well. Now, the client already requested that we take the photos of the guest. He said this is our own gift to the guest. Overall, we feel like doing things like this bring value to the client, and at the same time is raising our own profile and value. And like this particular client saw our work somewhere, and they like what we do, and they saw the photos, and that is why they are able to book us. Is this the way that everybody's doing things? Is this the industry standard of doing things? No. It's just we adding more value to our package, and then we try to show the client what we can do, and then we make it work. So it has worked for us, and this is one of the things that we'll do. I hope you guys can see some of those pictures on the screen. Now, I know most of you watching this review are not even subscribed to this channel, so I appreciate it if you can subscribe and also click on that like button if you like this video. And finally, don't forget to turn on the notification bell to get notified each time I release a new video. In terms of delivery, we make sure that we deliver as promised. We normally deliver between 14 working days for our client, but sometimes it could be within 3 days, it could be 4 days. We just say 14 working days to manage expectations, and I don't think we've ever failed. We've never failed when we say that, and we make sure we deliver before time. And most of them are like surprised when they see it earlier. They'll be like, "Oh, thank you for sending this across." Sometimes it could be within 2 days that we send the pictures around. We're saying that, and the pictures looks great and amazing, and that is the testimony we get. And we saw a lot of feedback from them saying, "Well done, good job, thank you for the photos." And that is what you want. You want people to appreciate the work, to like it, and for them not to look at it from the money perspective, but to look at it like this was value. This was more than the price we paid for it. They're giving us more value, and that's what I wanted to bring out in this whole review. Giving your client more value, let them feel more. They're getting more that they are paying for, and there's no way they will not go out there and say more about your work, or tell others about you, or recommend you to people, because someone recommended us to them, and they would definitely recommend us to other people as well. Right, but it's not all good. Like there are some things that you have to be aware of. Like I said, you will need, one of the things that you have to be careful is that you will need more people to do this, and you don't want to be underpaying people and things like that. So if you have a team, if you are doing it alone, you might need to get a second body to do it, because for us on the very day we are doing photos, we are doing videos, and you won't be able to do that alone. It will be very difficult to be inside, outside at the same time. Now, if you're doing only photos and you're doing the mini and just the photos inside, one person can do it. It can be done with one person. But in this case, it just makes sense that you have two people. The second thing is that you will need more gears. You will need probably more gear to do this. Like you will need maybe a light setup. You don't have to use the light I'm using. You can use any light. You can use cheaper lights. You will do it. If you use even go, let's say the 200, which are less cheaper, or even a speed light that's like £100, 150, as long as you have some form of umbrella, just put them and then use it. It will work. Just test it, make sure before your client gets into that. And one thing you have to do is you have to get there early as well. So if you used to get to event like right on time and all that, this one you have to be there before the time so that you can do your setup and testing, because this is a fast-paced environment. There's no waiting around. People don't want to be waiting and saying, "Oh, I'm testing my lights." No, you want to be ready when people are ready, and that is one thing that you have to. So it will involve some form of more energy, time management, and like I said, time management is very important. You need a system that also is very fast. Like people take their photos, they move, they know that they're gonna get their photos either from the client themselves. What I like to do is to make sure they get their photos after the client must have gotten their photos, because it doesn't make sense for them to get their photo first and then the client get their first photos later. So that's the only thing, the reason why I don't give them on the day, because I think it's better that way. So that's our way of doing things, and I think let me know in the comment if you think this is a good way of doing things, or you have another way of doing things that you want to share. You can share that below. And also, if you want to reach out, obviously you can reach out via my social media handles. On Instagram is Cookie Photography, and TikTok is the same thing as well. And you can drop me an email on info@photography.com as well. Okay, guys, that's all I've got for you guys today. Until next time, I say take care of yourself. Have a great time, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.